There are two societies in America: the opulent, the glamour, the glitter, the wealthy. That's often the image displayed worldwide. But the underbelly, they're not seen. And that's where the problem lies. William Clark, fellow producer and director, and myself, Wayne Parker, producer and director, we got a call from a close friend of mine, Miss Virginia Corbett, whose son she feels has been falsely imprisoned, and he is currently in jail for 20 years. She had no one else to turn to. So William and I said, well, we just have a camera, but we can help people. We can do something. We thought that if we put her on film and she could tell her story, maybe someone will become interested in her case. Someone can help her.
Good evening. My name is Regina Corbett, and I'm here to talk about my son Michael and my family. We are a family that is very close, and we've tried everything to help Michael. See, Michael is a inmate at Phillips State Prison in Georgia. He is accused and has been wrongfully convicted of a crime he didn't commit regarding his son Mikey. Mikey was only 8 months old when he passed away. We have gone through so much with Michael and Mikey. I wait for the day for him to come home to be with his family. I know Mikey won't be able to, but I'm still hoping that things will work great for Mike. Years ago, my son graduated from a high school in North Carolina, and he went into the service because we decided he either had a choice to go into the service or to go to school, and he decided to go to the service. Well, he did his tours and things, and he went to Saudi Arabia in 92, and he returned back at that time. He was stationed in Savannah, Georgia, where he later conceived a child with his wife, and the child was born in 1993. Well, as time is going on, the baby got really sick, and they kept taking him back and forth to the doctor. No one could figure out what was going on with the child. In that time, when that was done, the child got sicker, and at the end, he got to a point where nobody, as I said before, the pediatricians and the people that were in the medical profession at the time couldn't figure out what was going on with him. At the time, on October the 20th, that was the day that Mikey's life ended, and my son was accused of hurting Mikey and killing him. We had an attorney and all those things that needed to be done through the justice system, but nothing availed. At the end, my son was convicted of killing his son in 1994. Since then, I have tried everything possible to help my son, to help Mikey, to see what actually went on. All doors have been turned to me, not for me, but against me. The first thing that I said to the attorney that I used, I said maybe the baby got sick because of the Desert Storm syndrome. And they told me at the time that the child, they couldn't do anything about that because, number one, nothing was done. Well, by the time that things had started to be diagnosed with the soldiers and their families and whatever, it was too late for Mikey, and definitely too late for my son, because those studies started in 1995, 96, and therefore Mikey wouldn't have fallen under that time zone, and neither would Mike, because number one, Mike was already convicted of a crime he didn't do, and Mikey was deceased at the time, and nobody took any action to see what was actually wrong. Ever since then, I have tried to no avail to see if someone will listen to me. When the coroner did his information, the information was incorrect. He said the baby was not circumcised, and he was. They said the baby was DOA when he got to the hospital, and he was not. He was still alive. there are pictures that have come up during that time that shows the baby being in a onesie, and when he left that apartment at that time, he left in a diaper and a pair of socks. So I was told that those pictures appeared in the courtroom, outside the courtroom, in fact, and that the child had on a outfit that was for him to be prepared to be buried in. Therefore, they did some false information on the baby, and since then, those records that I'm trying to obtain have been sealed. What I'm asking for is anyone that can possibly help me to clear my son and maybe to help other military families that have are going through the same thing that I'm going through. If you can help me, please get in contact with me. You can get in contact with my daughter, Mia Corbett, P.O. Box 31943, Raleigh, North Carolina, 27622. If you know of anyone that can help us, because I really need for someone to look at our blood-stained slides to tell me actually if there was a mutation in the baby's body that would have caused his death. I feel in my hearts of hearts that my son did not do it, because when I see my son on Mother's Day and all the other days, it's like where he is, he's there, but in his heart he wants to be home, and I need for him to be home because he is my child, and I'm sure there are other children are in the same situation. Again, my name is Regina Corbett, and I thank you for your time, and have a great evening. Thank you.
The Barry Parker Cooking Show provide another alternative for Barry. Barry has great cooking skills, but he didn't see an outlet for his cooking skills.
All right, let's recap what we made today. So first, we have the soft shell crabs here, and it's stuffed with some crab meat. And then over here, next we have our jumbo lump Maryland crab cakes with a little lemon and also some cocktail sauce. Then some fresh Maryland corn, accented with a little bit of Old Bay seasoning that we boiled. We cooked that for about 5 to 8 minutes. Then we have our cucumber, tomato, and onion salad with a little balsamic vinegar and also olive oil, salt and pepper. And finally, to wrap everything up, you always have to have a great dessert. We have a strawberry shortcake. Remember, this is a strawberry shortcake that was made simple because we used store-bought biscuits. With a little vanilla ice cream, fresh strawberries and blueberries, homemade whipped cream. And then to make it a little bit fancy, we put a little honey and pecans on top. Thank you everyone for coming. I'd like to thank my brother Gary for helping me out. It was a pleasure. Couldn't have done it without you. And we look forward to seeing you all again. Take care.
This concludes the Barry Cooking Show with his twin brother Gary. Bon appetit. That there's an end to the tunnel, that there is some type of reward if they display their talents and stick with it and don't quit. Okay. That's our message. Yeah. Our destiny next led to the Mac Lewis, the famous Mac Lewis Gym in Baltimore, Maryland. They took on boxing as a way to get out of the streets and to stay out of jail. So we found ourselves filming them and giving them some hope that the world will see their talents, that they can have some dreams, and they can see how they can move from going from literally nothing to the top. We're here at the Columbia Mall in Columbia, Maryland. This was the scene of a horrific double murder. And the young man was just 19 years old who committed the murders, and then he committed suicide. That's what we're talking about here. A lot of the youth, they feel that they're outcasts. They don't fit in. They become violent. They see no other alternative. They don't see anyone, any adults listening to them and what they have to say. These are the type of preventions that need to be taken by society helping the youth and people with no voice. This is where William Clark and I came in. So these are the situations that need to be addressed immediately. We feel that everybody needs to take a stand and not sit idly by and let these tragic events keep reoccurring. That's our stand.
Sheltered in place out and make sure none of them have any injuries, either from the shooting. Again, we don't think there are any, but also any injuries that may have occurred in that process, that panic when people do shelter. So that's what is going on actively behind me in the mall as we are out here. We do not have the identity of the victims yet. We do not have a motive for the shooting. Again, this is 2 hours and 15 minutes into the scene. We are still trying to secure the mall to make sure, again, that there's nobody else injured. And then we are getting our investigators into that crime scene to start doing their work, which will enable me to answer some of those many questions you have that, frankly, I just can't answer right now because I don't have the information.